Welcome to an invitation. Today I invite you to make a special Christmas meal with me from start to finish. So my favorite Christmas protein is prime rib. Look at this beautiful piece of prime rib. This is about a 2.5 pound prime rib. It's gonna feed 4 to 6 people. Look, it's nice and marbled. It's just beautiful. You can get this from your butcher. And it's very, very simple. All I do is salt and pepper on this, but you want to do a lot of salt because the prime rib is a big piece of meat and we need that salt to get inside the meat. So I'm just pouring it on here, and then I'm going to go on the bottom, and all that fat that's on the bottom is going to cook off once it comes out of the oven, but it really gives it such a nice flavor, and this is going to give it a nice crust on the top. I'm going to do a little bit more here, and then we're going to come back with some black pepper. And what we're going to do, we need 500 degrees. I know people are scared of 500 degrees. 500 degrees for 15 minutes. What that does is that seals the meat and puts that nice crust on it that we all like with prime rib. After it's 500 degrees for 15 minutes, you're going to cut it back to 325 degrees, and then you go 10 to 12 minutes per pound. So this is about a 2.5 pound piece. So it's going to be in the oven another 20 to 25 minutes. It should be perfectly medium rare. Remember, it's going to cook a little bit more when you bring it out of the oven. And if you want to cook it to a higher temperature, internal temperature, just leave it in the oven a little bit longer. Let's put this in the oven, and then I'm going to make the amazing side dishes, and then we'll have our whole meal ready to eat. So the first side dish we're going to do today is scalloped potatoes. I love scalloped potatoes, and they go perfectly with prime rib. If you don't like scalloped potatoes, you can do oven roasted potatoes, rice. There are a million things you could do, but this is one of my favorites. It's very simple. I've sliced the potatoes very thin, and we want to soak them in water so they do not turn brown. You can soak them in water up for several hours till you're ready to make this, and they will not turn brown. Then I have some Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and a bechamel sauce. Bechamel is a very simple sauce. It's flour and butter and then thinned out with milk. But it's one of the classic French sauces. You can see on the recipe how to make it. So I start with a little bechamel on the bottom of my pan, and I'm just going to spread that out like that, just so it's covered, and that'll help the potatoes not stick to the bottom because it's got enough fat in it to do that. And then I'm going to come back with my potatoes. You want to drip the water off of them, and we're just going to layer them in very thinly. They can go a little bit on top of each other so that when they cook, they kind of all stick together. All right, so now we've got a layer, and then we're going to come back. I need a little bit bigger spoon, so I'm going to grab a little bit bigger spoon. I need a little bit bigger spoon, so here we go. Now I'm going to take this, and we're just going to layer more bechamel right on top of here. Doesn't need to be perfect. These potatoes have been in water for a little bit, so they started to curl up. That's not a problem. It doesn't mean they're bad. They're just starting to curl a little bit. And then I always like to do a little salt and pepper on the layers so you get an even mixture of salt and pepper throughout. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit. You'll notice I'm not doing the cheese until the end. A lot of people put cheese in every layer, but I like to just do the cheese on the top because I like the potatoes to all sort of stick together and be nice and thick and just have that really yummy taste to them where you're just getting mostly potatoes. I have a friend that used to do this recipe, and they would put green apples in here, and I have done that. It's really good. So if you wanted to do that, you would just do some very thinly sliced green apples and lay them right there with the potatoes, just for something a little bit different. I love to do that with like a game dish with like quail or venison. The apples is a nice treat and blend with that. So here we go again, and we're almost done. Just a little more salt, a little more pepper, and we're going to do this last layer of potatoes. Try to get at least 3 layers. It can be more, but you want a minimum of 3 layers so that you have enough potatoes to cover. Now on top, I'm gonna do a lot more bechamel sauce because that's what's gonna make it really yummy. We're gonna come like that. Just drizzle some across the middle here. So I've ended up using about 2 cups of bechamel for this. And we're gonna just smooth that all out. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look yummy? We're gonna finish this with a nice thick layer of Parmesan cheese. It'll be nice and browned on top. And then we're gonna put these in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, until the potatoes are completely cooked and soft. And this was about 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna put this in the oven, and then we're gonna come back and make one more side dish, and then we'll be ready to have our meal. So for our second side dish, I'm gonna do asparagus Parmesan. Super simple, super easy. It's in the oven and out in 15 minutes. It'll go perfectly with your prime rib and scalloped potatoes. So I've got about 1 pound of asparagus here. 1 pound of asparagus is good for 4 to 6 people. So I'm just gonna lay them out on my pan. I like to lay them all flat so they can each roast evenly. And I love this recipe because you just put it in the oven and really don't worry about it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back with a little olive oil. We're just gonna drizzle them with some olive oil right across the top. And then I'm gonna use my crazy salt, my favorite seasoning. So we're gonna do a little crazy salt on top. And that's it. I'm gonna put them in the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. Then we're gonna pull them out, add the Parmesan, and then put them back in the oven for 5 minutes, and they're all set. So the asparagus have been in about 10 minutes. You can see they've started to cook, and now I'm gonna mix them with some Parmesan cheese. You don't wanna put the Parmesan cheese on in the beginning because it gets too melty. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top here, and then I'm gonna use my tongs just to toss them a little bit, just so they kind of get all mixed in and covered up with them. And then we're just gonna go back in for about 5 minutes and let the cheese melt. And these are gonna be so yummy. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. Everything has come out of the oven. We have our scalloped potatoes, our Parmesan asparagus, this beautiful prime rib, and to finish it all off, I have our gingerbread trifle. What a yummy dessert for the holidays. The recipe for the gingerbread trifle is on another video from last year. Check it out and you'll learn how to make that. All right, let's cut this prime rib and see how it turned out. Look at this. Oh my goodness, yum. Oh, perfect. Look at that, perfectly medium rare. You have to remember when you pull it out of the oven, it's gonna continue to cook a little bit. We'll slice one more slice, and if you like it a little more done, which is just fine, you can leave it in the oven just a little bit longer. Look at this beauty. And then you're gonna wanna serve it with those pan drippings, and then I also like to serve it with a horseradish crema. I hope you enjoy this meal. I hope you enjoy your Christmas. It's a very special time for family and friends. I wish all of you all a Merry Christmas. Remember, enjoy cooking, enjoy entertaining, but no matter what, enjoy the experience. Cheers. Merry Christmas, everybody.